So we had a lot of questions on the Straw Bale House video, and so I thought I'd take this time to do a special little episode here where I did a question and answers on that video alone. It's kind of off topic, but you know, a lot of people had questions, so I thought I'd cover those. Let's see. One of the questions was whether we had to have inspections and how we dealt with building codes in Indiana. Well, luckily I live in Kosciuszko County, and Kosciuszko County does not enforce building codes in the surrounding county. They do for the central town of Warsaw, but luckily enough I didn't have to deal with that sort of thing, and I got to build any sort of building I want. Allison Reese has a bunch of different questions. How well does the building insulate? Well, straw bale houses do very good at insulating, but the straw bale is just the walls. You still have to deal with the insulation of the roof, the ceiling, the second floor issues, the floor. So it's really just a small portion of the insulation of a building, but it does help a lot. And depending on how you build the rest of your house, it can be very well insulated. Did I have any problems, or do you have any problems with rot in the walls? If your walls are well drained and you have a fairly deep overhang, which we have probably a deeper overhang than most houses do, it keeps the water off the walls, and that's all it really takes. Any kind of moisture that's in the walls can permeate through the stucco on the outside and on the inside of the wall, so the walls do breathe, and you really don't have any problems with rotting. I don't see any deterioration in the walls themselves. There are straw bale buildings that are intact and are over 100 years old, even ones that were structurally straw bale. Our building really is just a pole building with straw bale walls, but some of the straw bale buildings historically have been ones where the roof is supported by the walls themselves. Really, if you keep those walls dry, you will not have a problem with longevity. And along with that too, with the straw that's inside the wall, there are people that have questions about termites and mice and issues like that. If you're using straw and not hay, which some of the buildings actually used hay, but if you're using straw, there's really nothing there to eat. So while the mice might want to live in your wall, they're not going to eat it all up. And we made sure that the stucco coats all the way down to the ground and cap the top of the walls so that the walls are completely sealed and you don't get a problem with pests inside your walls. The buildings are excellent for sound insulation. They're very quiet because of the amount of insulation you've got there. And the walls not being completely flat also helps with them not being nearly as reflective in their sound. The stucco on the outside and even on the inside of our building is just a straight mortar mix, just sand and cement in a particular ratio that I liked for that. Some people do much more creative things with the stuccos on the inside, using natural clays and plasters. So there's a lot of different kinds of things and surfaces that you can get out of those buildings. I also did in the floor heating. So we have a slab floor with tubing that goes through the floor, and we pump hot water through that, so we have a warm floor in the wintertime. And that worked out really well. Somebody was asking about what my hindsights were on the building, and really quite pleased with how everything worked out with it. Another question was, did we work from a building plan or anything like that? Was it freestyle? It was very freestyle. In fact, the time when we built the house, there were no books on building straw bale houses on the market. There was one in one of the catalogs. We ordered the book and they said, oh, the book's not printed yet, and here are a couple pamphlets that might help you out. That's what we built from, a couple just little idea pamphlets about how it worked out, and just sort of a seat of the pants construction, which I'm sort of famous for, and hey, it turned out. I do want to thank everyone for their great interest in this project, even though it's only kind of slightly connected with what we do. I want to thank you for your great questions, all the very, very kind comments. It's so wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. If you're a new viewer and you haven't subscribed, press the subscribe button up here. That'll take you to a spot where you can subscribe. That really is the best way to get notification of all the new videos that are out. I want to thank everyone for watching.